So we're going to start with Crack in the Wall. Go and tell me about the writing process for Crack in the Wall and maybe the inspiration behind the song.
So, A Crack in the Wall, let me back up a little bit. I was going through some of my old journals. I grabbed them from I have them stashed away in a drawer. And I was going through my old journals, looking through some things that I had written from years back. And I came across a poem that I wrote. And it was entitled A Crack in the Wall. It was written the beginning of the end of a relationship that I was in. I noticed that there's always times in relationships when you say you'll share everything with each other. You'll always tell each other the truth. It's we're always going to be open and honest and share everything. And it happens over and over until a point when something is going wrong. And then I noticed that day that I had stopped sharing all of my thoughts. And I had stopped wanting to share all of my thoughts and noticed that, okay, this is the beginning of the end, because it's not completely open and honest anymore.
Yeah, and I think what we've learned in our relationship too is that a lot of relationships are like that, where you say, we share everything until it gets really hard. And when it gets really hard, people tend to close off. And, one of the things I love about us is, we got here because, we went through some really, really hard times. And the only way to get through those for us was to actually share. And, even share the dark stuff and the stuff that that you both get upset about, but but we shared them and we got through them.
We don't ever share that kind of stuff. We don't ever get upset with each other. What are you talking about?
Of course we do. So that was it was kind of cool with that song.
It highlighted that point.
Although I will say
of relationships.
I will say we played the song for Lizzie, our daughter Lizzie,
oh, yeah.
And the song started and she got this horrible look on her face, and she said, "This isn't about you, is it?" I said, No, it's not about us. So that was adorable.
It made you feel good.
It did.
I love that.
The girls tend to protect him very much.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. So.
More on Doug's side than Lynn's.
Yeah, it's true. They are way more on Doug's side than on my side. It's like, Mom, stop yelling at him. Be nice to Doug. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Doug, when you kind of saw, or Lynn, when you found the poem and you approached Doug with the song, how was the writing process when you guys started looking at this and how the song came together?
Well, first he yells at me. He's like, I can't look at this on a piece of paper. You need to put it on the computer. So he has me write out my lyrics on what.
Well, she just uses Pages, just a word processor to,
because I'm really computer
put them
savvy.
electronic, because then it's a whole lot easier when we decide to shift sections around and so on and so forth than trying to, literally cut and paste paper.
Right. So I get my lyrics on the computer and then pass it over to Doug, who says.
So I typically say, okay, what kind of feel do you want to have for this song? And typically the easiest way to do that is to for her to find some other songs that have the kind of feeling that she wants this song to have. And so then I'll listen to those songs, and that will give me an idea of, okay, this is the feeling we're going for. And then I'll sit down and either with the keyboard or my guitar and, come up with some rudimentary, chord progression and melody that seems to fit that feel. And then usually what I'll do is I'll go in and we use Logic Pro to create all the instrumentation. I usually go in and create sort of a groove to the song, create a rhythm that seems like it fits this feeling, and then put a chord progression on there, and then we that kind of goes from there, and we then sit together and sort of figure out, is this the right feeling? Is this the feeling we're getting?
Right.
And oftentimes, we'll come up with, we really like this groove, and that'll actually kind of morph the song and change the song a little bit into, hey, let's, we like this groove, let's fit that.
In A Crack in the Wall, the verses were they were kind of well formed to begin with. The chorus was pretty well formed to begin with. It really developed straight from the poem right into the song. It worked really well. The hard part of that song was the bridge. Yeah. And we tried 3 or 4 different things for the bridge before it finally clicked. And I remember just sitting one day in his office, he's playing the guitar and we're going over it and over it. And when I started repeating words that we had in the bridge, it finally just clicked and fell into place. And then I think the whole song kind of fell into place. But part of the thing with the bridge is when I hear it, I picture 2 ballet dancers. And I think that also influenced how Doug...
the instrumentation absolutely is influenced by her thought of, I'm thinking about, when I hear this about ballet dancers, well, okay, let me add some strings and things to make this feel like that.
And to me, it's these 2 people in a dance who are in their own orbit and then kind of stretching out and separating until finally it falls apart and they each go their own way. But they keep circling and circling until finally they let go. And that's the image that I have when I sing it, when I wrote it, when it kind of just progressed as we went along.
Yeah.
Very cool. What are there any funny moments when you guys are recording this song, or any takeaways that you want to talk about, or what do you hope also that people kind of glean from the song as well?
One thing Doug mentioned the other day, not a funny moment, but one of the things Doug mentioned was most of our songs have meaning behind it. So it's the story that we're telling and then the lesson we learned from it. And I think this just goes to us learning another lesson and about, still sharing even when it's hard, and about learning to let go when you can't share what's hard. It's sometimes better to just let it go. Funny things, I have a hard time changing melodies in my head, learning new melodies. So Doug will sing something to me. He's like, okay, let's try this and we're gonna go here on the bridge. We're gonna go here on this chord progression, and I don't understand it. We're going up these 3 notes, and I go up 2 and down 3, and I kept going in the wrong direction and drove him crazy. You can tell more about that.
Well, no, and we in the harmony parts, we wanted one harmony part a third above where Lynn was singing, and although I've got a pretty good range, I couldn't hit that note really without squeaking terribly. So we had Lynn record that high harmony part, but in order to do that, what I did was I took my voice singing the melody, and then I electronically manipulated that to be a third above, so that she could listen to my voice singing the harmony part as she was recording the harmony part.
Helps me learn a little.
Yeah,
more.
which actually worked out quite well. So.
But I don't have anything funny except for us trying to kill each other.
Well, that only happens occasionally.
And then, what do you hope is the big takeaway from your listeners for this song?
I guess I already mentioned it. It's about, if you notice something that's breaking in a relationship, you have to decide if it's worth sharing everything that's going on in your head, or if it's time to let it go, and then not let it drag on forever and dance around the issue. Because I felt like I danced around the issue for years and never and let go. And the longer you drag it on, the harder it is to let go. So,
well, and I think with all of our songs, we, not every song is going to resonate with every person, and we just hope that in some of our songs, people do relate to them and they resonate with them, and we like writing them, and we hope people like listening to them.